I'm the Wizarding Nerd, and today I'm going to analyze every second of the Hogwarts Legacy State of Play. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start here at the beginning. I'll fast forward just a little bit. Alright, so here's our first look in the daytime of the castle. You can see the greenhouse and all that over here. There's like the opening entrance courtyard up here. You know, the Great Hall kind of is at the end of this section up here behind that. Not too sure what this is. We don't really see that anywhere in any of the movies or in the books or anything like that. You know, unless that's just the courtyard, I guess. I'm not too sure. We've got the Owlery up here. And aside from that, nothing too notable. We'll go ahead and skip past this.
In the wizarding world, you'll need to uncover
what's... Alright, so here. We've got like a room full of mirrors and whatnot. I'm thinking that this is like the first place you'll learn about your special powers and whatnot. We've got the, whatever that guy's name is. He's kind of like showcasing everything. We aren't too sure, you know, exactly what our ancient powers are going to be, but I would guess it has something to do with this up on the screen here. Go ahead and skip forward just a little bit.
You must create the
witch
or wizard you want to be.
I'm thinking that because you've got these scars here, right? It's probably going to be pretty detailed. We can see the hair color and whatnot changing, the hairstyles and color over here. She's got purple eyes. I doubt that's natural, so you're probably going to be able to do quite a bit of customization, which is going to be great. Not sure who this is. Probably the headmaster. It looks kind of similar to the guy later on who's teaching potions, but if you look side by side, it's not the same person. Alright, so we get our first look at the Gryffindor common room, house, whatever you want to call it. This is the Ravenclaw room, which is the first time we see it in anything. It's pretty accurate to what the description says in the book, which is super exciting. I'm a Ravenclaw myself.
Your housemates.
This is the Slytherin one. It's got that green tint that it describes in the book. So it might be underwater, like Harry thinks that it's under the Black Lake, the Slytherin common room. So that would be pretty cool if we got to see something like that. It's hard to tell through this window. It kind of just looks like the sky, but you know, it's hard to see anything. So I guess we'll see here.
And you do have some catching.
This is our first look at the Hufflepuff common room at all in the series. This isn't, you know, this isn't canon by any means. But it is like the first really detailed look we get. If you look here, this is the first time we see something that looks like you are probably meant to interact with it. That green friar could be like a save point, a spot that you can like fast travel. I'm not too sure. We don't have anything to go off of, but it's just there for a second. So here we get our first look at the herbology teacher, and I can already tell you we're going to get a lot of Rule 34 about her. So this is the Charms classroom. We see a lot of spells up here on the background, like I mentioned we'd see here. We've got 3 different boards, and then it just repeats. We get some more spells over here down the side. This looks to be like a dueling club. I say that it's probably a dueling club, because if you look, we've got characters from every house here. So we've got Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor. And then I think this is the this is one of your best friends later on. His name is Sebastian Sallow. You know, kind of the sidekick role. Here's a better look at the quote-unquote courtyard. This kind of looks like Hagrid's hut. Hagrid's probably not even born yet at this point, but that does look to be the gamekeeper's cabin. So, oh yeah, so here we get our first look at the kitchens. Super exciting.
To explore before.
As he just said, we've never been able to explore the kitchen before. We don't see it in the movies. We go there briefly in the books. It doesn't seem to be quite an accurate representation of how it is in the books, because in the books we've got the tables up here in the Great Hall, right? And then down below in the kitchens are the tables like exactly how they are as above, with you know, the food bustling and whatnot like this. But you know, we'll see. Maybe there's more off to the side of the screen that we don't get to see here. So get a look at the prefect's bathroom. Nothing wild there.
It's the late 1800s, so.
This is likely the Charms classroom again. You can see more spells written on the walls and everything. We got Nearly Headless Nick. That's pretty exciting. We get Professor Binns. For those of you who haven't read the books, Professor Binns is a ghost that fell asleep at his desk while grading papers or teaching. I don't think he was actively teaching, but he was taking a nap, and then he just woke up and he was dead. He was a ghost. Decided to keep on teaching. So you know, he's not really a prominent character, but he's in the books, he's not in the movies. Alright, so that there. We're collecting pages. You see it again a little bit later. Collecting pages for something. Probably going into some sort of book where you have to collect so many pages of, you know, 50 pages of 100 or whatever, so you'll just be actively collecting pages floating around the halls throughout the game. This looks like it's just going to be a tutorial of the game, how to use the controls, stuff like that. She just flew from the Quidditch pitch, which is back here, right? So hopefully we get to play Quidditch. Please let us play Quidditch. I swear, I will devote so much time to that if we can just play Quidditch. Not guaranteed, though. This looks kind of like the statue of Slytherin in the Chamber of Secrets. I don't think it's going to be that, though, because why would it be, for one? And two, the Chamber of Secrets isn't opened, for such a long time. So we've got this here. I don't know what this is. Whether that's a save point. Kind of looks like a pensive if you go a little bit further right there. Might be a pensive. Like I said, if it's a save point, we don't know how saving works in this game. If it's automatically saving, if it's, you get to a certain checkpoint and it just saves. Could be that it's some sort of ancient artifact we have to check out. Who knows? Those are what I believe to be swoopers. Yeah, just a bird, basically, right? Yeah, just a bird that chirps and drives people crazy. So maybe we get there and we have to go through quickly, or we start going crazy. That'd be kind of cool, actually. So we'll see with that.
Through your schoolwork will soon become tested.
This looks like it's the first look at a boss fight.
By working
big guy, dramatic entrance, definitely a boss fight of some sort.
Professor of Hogwarts lies
a little bit further on, we get our first look at what appears to be the date. Now, if you zoom in right here, it says 1890 Goblin Rebellion. We've got a bunch of gibberish, and then it's got the weather right up in here. Let's go ahead and switch tabs, though. Over here, we've got a list of all the stuff on the Harry Potter wiki. So if we just go ahead and click 1890, we'll see all sorts of stuff here. Albus Dumbledore starts his first year in 92. We probably won't get any mention of him just because he doesn't start until the second year, and he doesn't really start making waves until he's in school. But however, if this is in 1890, we're not really going to have anything that's too much later than 1890. I wouldn't think, anyway. I can't imagine the game taking place over the course of a decade or anything like that. So we'll just go ahead and we'll backtrack a little bit. We'll go to the 1880s. London Vampire, blah, blah, blah. A lot of Quidditch stuff. Stooging gets removed. Tom Riddle was born. That is going to be a big one. It's not who you think it is. Not Tom Marvolo Riddle, not Voldemort. It's not his father. It's his grandfather is born. So he's born in 1880, which means in 1891, he'll be attending Hogwarts for the first year. We might, maybe see him. That would be really cool. It'd be a nice little Easter egg type nod, right? I doubt that he's out there casting waves, making a name for himself, considering. But it'd be cool if he's like, hinted towards. Alright, so we see Ragnarok. He's the main antagonist of the game. This looks like it's probably going to be his headquarters. You can see down here we've got some more goblins. Some stuff hanging onto the walls over here. Probably in Gringotts, just because that's primarily where you see goblins. I'm not going to say it's definitely there, but there's a pretty good chance it's in Gringotts. Just it's got that vibe too, So, all right. So this, at first, I didn't think that it was going to be that big a deal. But if you look at this compared to where it is on the cliff, it kind of looks like where Voldemort may have stored his Horcrux. So, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine all of this just like falling into the ocean, because it's pretty thin down here. So maybe, over the next 75 years or whatever, it gets some weathering. Maybe there's a big fight that takes place here and this whole thing just collapses. Maybe we even see it in game. So who knows with that. Also, we know that Dumbledore has said that place knew ancient magic. I know I'm reaching, but that would be pretty cool. All right, here we get our first look at somebody trying to kill us. The first hint that it can be, not just a PG show.
A Pugno.
He just said Pugno, which is what Hermione said when she made the birds attack Ron. So I think a Pugno probably just means like attack, basically. Moving on, we get our first look at, in theory, those are corpses that have been reanimated to do a Dark Wizard's bidding. It looks like they are allergic to fire. They are weak to fire. That's probably, you're going to set them on fire with Incendio. We see that a couple times throughout the trailer. And this over here is probably the guy controlling them. These are some statues that we're fighting that have been animated. We see another one right up here, obviously a statue. We'll see him use Expelliarmus on this one. Yeah, right there. And then a Pugno, which is cool because I didn't know that you could use Expelliarmus on things that weren't wands, so that's pretty cool. All right, so here
your enemies
is the
using
first time we see a finisher. He's just going to town. He has like
powerful magic your
that's
professors
so cool.
do not.
And then we call down lightning like Taborlin the Great. Nice little reference there for anybody who's read Name of the Wind.
Perhaps you'd be good enough to...
We see a little demiguise statue. Nothing crazy about that, just kind of exciting. I like demiguises. Demiguise, demigui, demigoo.
A deep set of upgrades, talents, and skills
Alright,
to
so
aid.
here we get our first look at the talent system. We have crafting ability, which is probably going to be like the room of requirement stuff. We have stealth, and then we have core, which improves your overall effectiveness. I don't know what that is. I don't know effectiveness of what. Probably just everything in general. There's a picture of a book, so maybe you can... I don't know.
Complete challenges throughout the world.
Side quests
to earn
confirmed.
experience.
And then if you look back here, there's items that are highlighted. I don't know if those are just going to be like special objects of interest, things you'll definitely want to go pick up, or what. Maybe it's for another side quest. That remains to be seen, but something worth noting.
By choosing talents to upgrade your spell.
Alright, so here we see him use a disillusionment charm, or what appears to be a disillusionment charm. We'll find out later that there are invisibility potions in the game, so that might be what that is. But we'll see him sneak up on this guy, and essentially he performs an assassination.
To increase their
Petrificus
power.
Totalis,
Decide
whatever.
which talents best fit your playstyle.
And then I also think that this might be in Gringotts. I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like the bad guy's hideout. Which, following my previous theory from earlier, would be Gringotts, but you know, maybe I'm sure they've got more than one like base of locations, so we'll see. We get our first look at making potions. It shows how it's going to work with the controller, so that's pretty cool. And then here, he adds a drop,
Spells are not the
and then a second drop
tools at
falls
your
in.
disposal.
So I'm not sure if you have to like time it properly or what the deal is with that. But that's going to be pretty fun, I'm sure. And you'll feel like Professor Snape if that's one of your favorite characters. So, you see here he's brewing a potion that turns him into
potions that can
stone,
increase your,
I assume.
that can
I would
increase your
guess
power
that
when you
gives
need
him
a
more
boost.
defense. Because what else would it do, right? Like, it's stone.
Battlefield,
And then we see
and keep your
some
enemies at bay.
fancy cabbages attacking a goblin. These are most likely chomping cabbages. It shows us their name a little bit later on. I'll stop and highlight that later. But moving forward, we also have
Seedlings
mandrakes that he pulled out of air like a true magician. And our favorite little fluffy boy. And we also see some graphorns.
He's
so cute. I love him so much. And then we also get to pet him like he's a Nintendo. So here we have our first look at the flying mechanics of the game. My initial thought was that these balloons would be like targets. You have to fly down and hit one of them. Maybe there's like a race or something, and then you know, who knows? It's like training, right? But he immediately just flies straight away from them. Also, I don't think that we'll be able to fly just anywhere because it kind of looks like he hits a wall there. I'll lean back at that. You can look again right in here. He hits it, and then he just like kind of coasts alongside it. So maybe I'm wrong. But hopefully we can just fly wherever because that would be great. Just gonna go ahead and skip past this. It just talks about spells that you'll be able to learn from friends and whatnot. And then we get our first look at the companions. We've got Natsai, we've got Poppy.
And loves magical beasts, connecting with them more easily than with humans.
Yeah, me too. And we've got Sebastian. He's gonna be the best friend. You see him earlier when you're dueling. And it says that he's got a curse that he's trying to cure. Because if you look forward a little bit more, this guy, whoever it is, says whatever this is does not fix curses. So his family's got some sort of curse. Maybe he's a werewolf. Maybe he's got a blood curse. He's going to turn into something. But that remains to be seen. We also get our first look at Peeves, which is pretty exciting, who we see in the books and some of the video games. He right here looks like an upgraded version of the PlayStation 1 Philosopher's Stone version of Peeves, which is just really cool. Nice touch. I'm glad they have him in here. Also, we've got one from each of the houses, or 3 of the 4, I should say. So we've got Natsai, which is Gryffindor. We've got Poppy, which is Hufflepuff. And then we've got Sebastian, which is Slytherin. So I'm wondering if maybe you're meant to be a Ravenclaw, just kind of fill out that, like, the whole one from each house type thing. I don't think it's going to affect the gameplay at all in the slightest. But you know how sometimes you're playing a game and it's like, oh, you know, you're playing through. There's obviously, like, the right choice. And I'm not just saying that as a Ravenclaw. I actually think that maybe, you know, you're supposed to pick Ravenclaw. Alright, moving on to the Room of Requirement. This is going to be like the crafting area for you. You know, you're going to go here with all your ingredients that you collect throughout your gameplay. And this is where you'll take
One
them,
of the most remarkable.
Here you can see how that all works. You're going to be able to buy different, you know, stations of whatnot. We've got the potion station here, right? And as you can see down here, you can buy different variations of it. These all look like they're T-shaped, but just different layouts and whatnot. Maybe each one of them has something different that they do. And you can also change the color, rotate where you're going to rotate how you want to place it, stuff like that. So you can probably set up this whole Room of Requirement however you like. We see here that it costs 40 moonstones. They've got it set to 999. I'm going to assume that you get quite a lot of these. You might have to grind a little bit when you get towards some of the more higher tier stuff, but in general, it's probably not going to be too bad, especially for that early level, you know, the early level grinding. All right, so we can see that you can grow potion ingredients over here. We got Dittany, Mandrake, and an invisibility potion. That's going to be pretty cool. That might have been what we saw earlier at the
by choosing
right
talents
here.
to upgrade
It definitely
your
looks like a
spells,
disillusionment
plants,
charm. Not that
and
he's drinking a
potions to
potion,
increase.
but it is hard to see. It is hard to tell for sure exactly what's happening. Maybe you can quickly drink it like that, where he goes. So, you know, maybe it's like that. All right, and here we can see that it goes off of a timer. So, you know, you'll collect something, you know, brew whatever, and it takes so long probably to grow and brew. And then after that, you've got, after that you collect it and then you can start it over, essentially. Here we get our first look at the potting station. We can grow, you know, different things. We've got the Chinese chomping cabbage. We saw some of that earlier. Very cool. We've also got venomous tentacula pods. So you'll probably just throw those at your opponents and it, you know, creates vines and attacks them and whatnot. You can also probably use it in potions. Also, we see a rain cloud right here. Kind of like what Jacob Kowalski does in the Fantastic Beasts trailer. That's pretty cool. We also see a little chocolate frog thing back here. So peep that chocolate frog, and also peep my chocolate frog. This looks like the Room of Requirement, but it's different. It's like the room where you have to hide stuff. I don't know if this is going to be like a room off of what you're already like using, or if you go out of the Room of Requirement and come back in. I don't know how it's going to work. In the books, you have to walk past it 3 times thinking hard about what you need. So maybe you walk past and you can choose from a list of options what you need the Room of Requirement to turn into. But either way, that's pretty cool.
A helpful house elf named Deke helps you
Moving
discover
forward, we see
vivariums
Deke
that allow you to
give you a
nurture your
vivarium.
own
That's basically
menagerie of
Newt's
magical
briefcase.
beasts.
And inside of there, you see you can kind of build your own area, essentially. The cottage costs just as much as the potion station did, so this must be like a beginning version of the cottage. Maybe it's just like you enter and it's got all that you need and you don't have to upgrade it throughout. It's like essential to the area. But we also see the conjuration budget, which I think, judging by what this says here, I think that's gonna mean that you have to kind of limit what you have in here. I don't think it's like, you know, this super huge area that has unlimited space. You're probably only gonna have so much space to put certain things. And a cottage is probably gonna take up a decent chunk. And then you've got, you know, small things like, you know, like a goat pen or something. All right, now we see we're flying past a dragon on a hippogriff, and we're not crapping our pants in the slightest. So I'm going to assume that, you know, either that dragon turns around and chases us, or maybe that dragon is friendly. It does say that you can tame creatures and make them more friendly towards you, so maybe we've tamed it, maybe he's cool. All right, so here we're in Pippin's Potions in Hogsmeade. He's got all sorts of stuff for sale. The Wiggenweld potion is like a healing potion. It also looks like he's got recipes for crafting and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Be able to buy new recipes for new potions to take back to the castle here. We also get our first look at the gear screen. We can, you know, craft all sorts of different outfits. So that's pretty cool. I like this one. Not gonna lie, that's pretty nice.
Made also emboldened by the turmoil of the times.
Hi, Future Caleb here. I just had to point out, because I didn't notice before, this is Ollivanders, And that definitely confirms that we get to go to Diagon Alley if that hasn't been confirmed already. So that's good to know. But yeah, back to past Caleb.
Wander the
I
village
don't know
outskirts.
where this is, where this fight's taking place, because it's
You
in
must avoid them
Hogsmeade.
or defeat
I
them.
don't know where it is, because
As you
Hogsmeade's kind of a quaint
explore,
little
you'll
area.
find-
We get our first
as
look
the
at
school
weather.
year-
It also looks like right
progresses-
over here on the right side. It looks
As the
like there's
school year
something
progresses,
flying. Maybe it's just a
dynamic
flag. Maybe it's
seasons and
branches
climates
moving in the
will
wind.
fill
I
the
don't know.
sky,
Let's get
visiting
another look at the
hamlets
flying
pepper the
system.
countryside.
It does kind
Each
of
with
look like
rain.
we're flying on
Unique
a
visiting
trail.
hamlets pepper the
Just because, you know, it's kind of
countryside.
like got that like natural
Each
canyon
with
there.
vendors and-
We see vendors where you can buy potions and do side quests and stuff like that. Lots of playability in this
Be
game.
on the lookout for enchanting magical puzzles that may very well have been designed by Merlin himself when he was a student at Hogwarts.
Fun fact, Merlin was a Slytherin.
Magical beasts roam.
I believe these are Dug Bogs. I think they're Dug Bogs, because the description kind of fits. It resembles a piece of dead wood while stationary. It had fin paws and sharp teeth and glided through marshlands, feeding on small animals, blah, 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 blah. And if we go back to the video here and let it play
The
out,
lands outside the castle
you can tell that
walls.
it's long,
Some
judging
have
by the
been
tail
corrupted by
here. It's kind of a long
mysterious dark
thing,
magic,
so it
while
would glide
others
through
are
the
at
water.
risk
We
of
get some
poachers
moon
and their
calves. I
traps.
love them.
If you
We can
rescue
rescue
them,
them or smuggle them.
and restore
We
them
get
to
to see
health
some
in the room
Thestrals,
of
which is
requirement.
super cool, but it also means that we have seen
But there
somebody
are
die.
dangers beyond
We
in
go
the
down
world
into
as
Green
well.
Gods and see some
Dungeons and
Inferi.
vaults.
I don't think that this is in Green Gods, because it doesn't really look like a vault here. I mean, it could be that they're protecting somewhere. That would make sense. The outfit does match what he was wearing on the trolley cart on the way down, though, so we'll see. And here we get our first look at the darker aspect of the game. We
When you
straight
choose
up
to
just
explore, as
murder
may
a
lead you
goblin.
down a path.
Yeah, like that goblin is like dead as hell.
Befriend new allies.
And then immediately we make friends with a different goblin. So that seems like the opposite, sort of end of that. You can either murder a goblin or you can befriend a goblin. I'm sure you can do both throughout the game at some point, but that's just kind of where it stands for now. We
Seen
also
before.
fly on a hippogriff,
Uncover ancient
which makes me believe that we have different modes of transportation. So we could be flying on a broom. We see him flying on a hippogriff. We saw Thestrals. Maybe the Thestrals are another option. Maybe you get different options based on the morality path you choose. So who knows? But that's exciting. I'm excited to play with that feature.
Did you
And we
want
just get
to
a few
be
shots of the
as you
castle and
leave your
whatnot.
unique mark
The last
on the
thing
wizarding
I
world.
want to touch on is this. This dragon flies up to us, and I don't think that he's angry. If you'll look here in a second, it'll show him like he doesn't breathe fire at us, which is surprising for a dragon. But also, he's got these blue marks on him. Everything else that's blue and glowing has a red glow to it, which kind of suggests that they're possessed by the dark magic, right? But because this is blue, I wonder if maybe we didn't set him free from the dark magic and befriend him, and that's what the glow is. And last thing, the release date, which is going to be holiday 2022, which means most likely November, somewhere in that time frame, just because that's when they usually release video games like this, or just video games in general. They want to have Black Friday be super successful for selling games, and also consoles. It's a pretty big time for buying video games and stuff for that. So look for around November, probably mid-November, but definitely later this year. So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you're most excited for. Let me know what else you'd like to see me cover. But that's all for today. So until next time, catch you next time, nerds.